Hey, we've got Drewz Viewz here, and I'm back for a little Anime Monday, reacting to some anime on Monday. And today I'm continuing with Susuno Frieren Beyond Journey's End, episode 22, Future Enemies. I got into this what this title is going to probably mean a little bit on the recap of the last episode, which was the World of Magic, wherein all the characters, well, obviously Frieren and Frieren, but then all the other characters we've met taking the first class mage exam completed the first stage, and the ones that got out of there with their whole team intact with the still bird are now going to be going into the second stage, and that's where they're not going to be teammates anymore. It seems like there's a little talk between Ubel and Fern were talking. Ubel's asking her about her powers because Fern only shows the basic magic that when fighting that Frieren told her to do, but the third guy on their team said, don't reveal your secrets because you'll be future enemies potentially in the next round. I don't know if it's going to be an all ever mad for themselves sort of thing. Interested to see what it's going to be here, but seemingly the one in charge overall is this elf named Siri, who we saw in a flashback last time Frieren met like 1,000 years ago. Flamme introduced her. Flamme was the student of Siri, obviously Frieren the student of Flamme, and we learned that, you know, Frieren kind of snubbed her for getting a free gift or whatever, like a spell or some power. That is what everyone now wants when they're going to be a first class mage, saying she wanted to just learn it all herself. Something she shared with this character Denkin we know about now, or we've been introduced to now, this crafty old guy. He said he wants to do the exam also to be able to return to the northern lands, I think where he said he's from, because you have to be a first class mage or have a first class mage with you now. It's Fern and Frieren's reason as well, as we know. But Denkin wants to go visit a graveyard, I think he said, or a cemetery. I don't know if that's I assume that's the real reason, but yeah, maybe part of him too just wants to do it all by then, toward the end of his life maybe. He's a human, so won't be living as long as Frieren and Siri certainly, or a dwarf even. But yeah, he was still no match for Frieren, as we saw. Neither was the dome that Siri, we learned she was the one who created it over the stage 1. But Frieren, they had a word for what Frieren was doing, like someone's studying it. It wasn't that though, but someone's figuring out how it worked, and she broke the dome. That also allowed her 2 teammates to win against the guy Richter, who was Denkin's teammate. So yeah, in the end, Denkin and his team had to beat 2 guys up further still, it seemed like. So anyway, it was a really good episode in terms of a nice flashback, setting up this new character, who we also saw Siri. Then she was like, kind of like, oh, so Frieren's back, you did become great. So we'll see if they have some interactions here. But yeah, good epic moment with Frieren doing that, getting the flashback, and all the other teams, you know, wrapping that up, how the teams that, you know, got through to the next stage were able to do it. Yeah, so, and we saw a quick shot of Stark at the pub chilling at the end of the last step, because he hasn't been in it for a while since he's not a mage, obviously. I'm not sure if he'll be in this one. It said there's a 3-day break between the two, so I don't know if we'll get a little episode in between the 2 stages. I kind of feel like that won't be the case, but maybe half an episode or something like that. Anyway, the only way to find out is just to get on into it and meet our enemies. Let's do it. Yeah, here's all of them that made it. This is something we kind of saw already, but we didn't know much about that party. So, was it 15 people that made it, I think? There's Siri in the intro. Okay, this is where I guess Stark is. Living the good life now. Uh-oh, Fern's back too. And you're fun.
なんだはい。お、フェルン。
終わって昨日の夜に帰ってきましたですよね。
え、
寝てたでしょ。
あ、はい。
他には。
ました。
Jeez,
怒らせちゃった。
Grape
フリーレン様も
ビヒした。こりゃ今日はフェルンのご機嫌取りだね。美味しいものでも食べに行こう。高いけど前にヒンメルたちと
Hemo flashback. It's been a couple eps. Maybe.
前のことだろう。まだあるのか。
Good point. Start. Good question. Is this Richter?
まあ、明かりがついた。
Is this job?
治るって言っただろ。
リヒター。
あ。おいばあち
Looks
ゃん。
like a sugar cube.
いい年したおっさん。
から見たら子供のままさ。
I guess it's candy. It's okay. The squad.
もう店じまいだ。行かれたじいさんに休めないといけないんだ。
だったな、リヒター。なら飯でも美味しい店があるのだ
I
が、
wonder if
わ
it's
し
gonna be the same one Frieren wants to give it to you.
そもそもラウフェン食ってるものはどうしたんだ。
じいさんに買ってもら
完全に孫じゃねえか。パーティーじゃない。
っておらんな。魔法使いの機嫌は取っておいた。
いくらでもある。適当に入れ。
妻と一緒に行った店でな。
Come on, Andy.
Rona.
Right there.
当たり前だ。損はさせん。
Friern's Four Eyes teammate.
メガネくんましてだね。街中ではさすがに分身。
歩きながらでもいいかな。
いいけどさ、殺しちゃうかも。
君ってさ、人を殺すことを何とも。
On the contrary, she seems to enjoy
なんで
it.
ビアベルを殺さなかったの。
見てたんだ。難しい表現なんだけどさ。王に両手は血で染まっている。
これは殺す覚悟のための時間だ。
私も殺すまでの。
Good lesson to learn.
これは
She gonna
So-
take out some of the competition here.
見たものを拘束する魔法。得意とする魔法は人生や人間。私は昔からその魔法が使えるようになるし。
Oh yeah, that was Orville's magic, right?
メガネくん、君の分身はその完璧な複製だ。君は何を思ってきたの？教えてよ。
君って感覚で魔法を使うタイプ。動いているのかも知らずにそのまま使っちゃう。そういう頭の足りない子嫌いなんだよね。
いないよ。
気に食わないから教えて。別に僕を殺したっていいよ。
That's very chill about it.
そんなことをしたら二度と共感は。
いいよ。君という人間がもっと知りたいかな。これからどこに行くつもりだったの？
ついてくるなよ。
こだ。
目の付けどころが。ここはこの町で一番。俺もよく来る。
Bell.
訪れたのは5時の雰囲気のままだ。
You didn't go inside.
不思議なもの。
本当にデザート。
Trying to get on Friern's good side.
電源フリーレンだ。
ああ、おすすめはね。
こんな贅沢を。
楽しそうではないか。食事は楽しきた。
Omelet. Steaks.
メルソ。
すごい量だ。
A lot of Japanese type of food in
こ
this
としま
one.
すよね。
家宝の包丁ありがとうございます。リニンレッカーが最大限のもてなし
Wow. Thinks a lot of himself.
お渡ししましょう。
ここの料理は美味しいからね。
そんなに食べなくてもまた来ればいいじゃないか。
In a couple hundred
食べられ
years.
なくなった味がたくさんあるからね。
ご安心ください。フリーレン味は後世まで残すつもり。200年後も。
面白いよね。料理人は皆料理の味を変えて詰め。
もっと美味しい味を探
ヒンメル様、私を超える味などこの
しっかり未来まで届けるんだ。する今回の報酬
のみとあらば今まで料理人が果たしてみせましょ
Is it the same? Looks like a whole damn
めちゃく
cat.
ちゃうまいぞ。
こんなに幸せで。
なんだよ。あれだけ意気込んで。
Maybe cows are just different.
でももっと美味しい味を探して。あの時よりもずっと。
本当に美味しいな。
シュタルク様。
野菜も食べんといかん。
完全におじいちゃんじゃねえ
This
か。
being grandma.
意外と小食なんだね。
They even came there.
別に
機嫌直ってよかった。
Well, too bad Frieren didn't invite the
金は大丈夫
R2
なのか？
teammates.
へそくりなくなっちゃった。
You're walking.
これぞ無の境地、無の真髄
Who's this guy?
とはもう何もない。
あのおじいさん誰？
知らない人なんか修行してると。
シュタルクって変な人。
People be like that
まあいいや、
sometimes.
ちょっといいんだけれども。
経験悪いじゃねえか。
Just found out you used all the money.
だよ。
今日の買い出し当番。
そんなのいつも今さら。
フェルンは積もりに積もって口を聞いてくれない。
だよ。
お願いだよ、私だと話してくれないんだ。
You need it.
よー、怖いもん。
Yeah, I don't think he's quite the right man for the job. But maybe he can do it.
もうこうして反省しているわけですし。
食べたい。
え？
食べたい。
He's just hangry.
成功の人。みんなで買いに行こうぜ。
There's a canna.
あれ、あいつのリアベルだっけ？
He is.
ちょっと何ですか？何？
Shopping for a new warrior.
ダメだな、こいつじゃ。
なあかんね。今まして可愛い格好だね、ラビーネ。
The big old hat and everything.
だよ。深い余計なもの買ってきやがって。
Oh, she got some stud bros.
ねえぞ。お袋もなしね。
私より甘やかされてんじゃん。
She's from some well-to-do family, it looks like.
よ。優秀な兄貴たちと比べられる。行くぞ。息が詰まりそうだ。
じゃあ今日は私がエスコート。痛い痛い、それ。
フェルンさん、どれにしましょうか。
奥様、選んでいいですよ。
時のやつだ。
You know.
私に聞かれても困っ。
あれフリーレンじゃねえか？
ちょうどよかった。
誰なの？
パーティーだった子たちだよ。
あのね。
Yeah, she certainly did.
とね、先生みたいだった。
二人が喧嘩するせいでね。
ラビー。
で居心地悪いな。
ま
お前戦士だろ。あ、ちょっと。
Hey, he's taken, Warble.
何？すごくいいな。なんなの？農作物を荒らす
Impressive.
前衛を探していたんだ。お前の仲間か。借りたっていい？
どうぞ。
Take him out on a loan. Should have charged him for a rental. Need money.
大丈夫でしょう。同じ人物とは思えない。
なんじゃねえの？
フリーレン、これ俺。
あ、ようなことしてないよ。
Sure you did, Sensei.
フリーレンがいなかったら私たちは第二次。
You might have got killed as well.
もう心配ないよ。パパとママが待ってるよ。
人助けをするの？
Because it's what I would have done.
もしかしたら自分の誰かに少しでも自分のことを覚え生きているという覚えていてもらうことだ。
もらうためにはどうすればいい？
でいい。誰かの人生を変えてあげる。
それでね、あの時そうだろ。そうだね。フリーレン様、この村やっと機嫌直っ。
Wipe that hanger away, girl.
フリーレン、2日目の朝はな。
また機嫌が悪くなっちゃう。
フリーレン。一級試験は例年度。次からは敵同士だな。
そうだね。
Is that summoning them or something?
次の試験の通知ですね。それと担当の試験官の名前。
Is it gonna be what's her name?
エンゼか。ついてねえな。
どういうことですか？
そうした試験は過去4回。学者は0人だ。
Oh my. Sense. Maybe Ubel was killed him. That Proctor, the bird's love just. Okay, that's whatever the thing was that I didn't know.
部の真髄を見たぜ。
Maybe that's what Hemo had killed for the girl back in the day too.
おい試験内容だ。
そう。
私は平和ゲナウとは違う。
俺は無
魔
理だ
族が守らない仕業だ。
しながら恐ろしいほどの
Alright, so next time we'll be conquering the labyrinth, apparently. That's gonna be the second stage of what I'm now learning is 3, apparently. So that's gonna take us to the end of the season, I'm thinking, because there's only 6 episodes left of the season, I believe. Well, I'm not sure the 2 proctors that we had met the past couple of episodes at the end there. He said what a bad exam or what a horrible or something like that, and she's like, I'm a pacifist, so I like it, sort of thing. So is it not gonna be some type of fight to the death or just fight or whatever battle? I guess Labyrinth is gonna be they just have to get through it, but it won't be fighting each other maybe. And they did, I think, either Loween or Ken or one of them said on the 3rd stage that might be when they become the enemies or whatnot. So yeah, for an episode called Future Enemies, it's not what I thought. I mean, I did think maybe there'd be a little break between the 2 things here, maybe just for the first half of the episode, but we essentially got the full episode of, you know, chilling, calm before the storm of round 2, I guess. People catching up, Stark getting back involved. I like that Werble and his other bro came in and got Stark out of there to help them out, yeah. Interconnect things a little bit. And of course we had more Fern drama, pouting, being mad. Mostly at Frieren this time, a little bit of Stark at the beginning when he was sleeping all day, but yeah. Even though they fed her a lot of dessert, she still was cranky the next day, but gotta get her enough snacks. I mean, she is like a little too hard on them, I would say, trying to control what they do and, you know, getting too mad when they don't do what she wants, but, well, gotta have someone in charge, I guess. But Stark is showing more maturity, I think, these days. Yeah, so we saw how the teammates are somewhat interacting with each other still, even though they're not part of the team necessarily anymore. Duncan being the grandpa figure, with what's the one girl, Laufen, is happy to go right into the granddaughter role, but you know, Richter was fighting against it more, but ultimately went along. Yeah, it was clearly set up to be the case, but you know, when they're both talking about restaurants, Frieren and Duncan, we already see them parallel a lot here, and it was the same one, of course. So we got some more Himmel team flashbacks this time. Them at the restaurant, and another one too that I mentioned yet with her asking why he does the things. It's kind of a little repetitive, that one, but yeah, I like the one with the chef. And then it ended up being that, or he said it won't change, but she said that it did in the present day here, but it's even better now. So yeah, a big plate that looked like it had about 9 steaks on it. Yeah, I guess when you are Frieren living for thousands of years, you do have to worry about not being able to get the same food you want all the time. Don't come back for a few 100 years or whatnot. Humans don't have to worry about that as much. Obviously it does happen with restaurants you like closing, etc. But yeah, lucky for Duncan. He hadn't been there in 50 years, but it was still there, still the vibe. And he mentioned his wife, he's a widower, I guess, and everything. So trying to have a little bit of a family type of thing again, even though it's not real, you know, actual family, but bringing in younger people. And then we got Fern's 2 teammates, Ubel, and I still haven't been getting his name, but 4 Eyes, I'll just call him, as she does. They had a thing, she almost like took him on a date then, it seemed like, but I thought she might kill him for a second, but we learned about her magic, which he said he doesn't like the people that do this or whatever, but she can just take, you know, use other people's magic by looking at it or understanding them, even if she doesn't understand the magic. I think that was the gist of it, and so that's interesting. Yeah, and we got a little more with Loween and Kana. They have kind of a homoerotic relationship, obviously, wrestling and everything. And then she was even, Kana was getting down on her knee, pretending to like say like, "Oh, my lady," these sort of things. But yeah, we learned Loween is like 3 impressive older brothers apparently, and there's some big name family around these parts, it looks like. So we'll see if that comes back in any way, I'm not sure. But obviously those 2 are very thankful for Frieren, even though Frieren demurs at it. She obviously did help them a lot, and they would have been pretty screwed without her, I would think. So yeah, even though it was a pretty chill episode, it still had a lot of the great Frieren, Susuno Frieren stuff in there that I've come to really enjoy, including all the flashbacks, all the themes and everything, and just in a non-combat way this time, of course, which in general the show doesn't have so much combat. We've got a lot more recently with this arc, or with the first stage of the exam arc. But yeah, we'll see. So the next proctor is someone named Sense, who they said never passes anyone, but I assume some people get by. We gotta see a stage 3, and I'm wondering, maybe predicting that Siri will be the proctor for stage 3, especially if she wants to test Frieren directly and see what's going on there. So yeah, anyway, that will do it for Future Enemies. Excited to conquer the labyrinth next time. Join me back for that next Monday. Do stay subscribed to the channel here, give it a like, anything like that. And until then, I'm up out of here. Peace.
それじゃあね。